So my name is Joelle Hydaman, and I am the medic for the Notre Dame Hounds.
And how long have you been in this role?
This is my first year as the medic.
That's exciting. What is your
Yeah.
favorite part so far?
Oh gosh. I think getting to know the boys has been my favorite part. I don't think I've laughed this hard in a very long time. So it's nice to get to know each one of them, become part of my family, basically. And I get to bring my little guy here, and seeing them interact with him is a lot of fun. So I really like that aspect of it. It's like a family. It's like having 25 kids of my own. So it's good. I enjoy it a lot.
Is this the first team that you've worked with in this sport of this caliber?
Yeah. Actually, when this opportunity presented itself, it's not a role that I ever dreamed of doing or saw myself in. But when the opportunity presented itself, I jumped in with both feet, and I can't imagine doing anything else. It's been really, really good.
That's awesome. So what would you say is the most difficult part of your position?
Oh, I think for me, anyways, is I'm a fixer. So I like to be able to fix everyone's problems. And when I see something that's maybe lacking or needs to be done, in my opinion, anyways, I'm a fixer. So probably the hardest part for me has been um I guess just having more knowledge and knowing how to help the boys in the best way that I can. So if there's an injury, just how to reach out and get different resources for them. Not being able to just necessarily do it myself, but having to reach out and bring other people onto the team to help with their recovery. So that part has been a little bit challenging in terms of how do we get the best resources to get them back on their feet, get them back into play as soon as possible. So I think that part for me has been hard. Another part that's been a bit challenging, but my husband's really great, has been being away from my family so often. Being on the road and traveling with the team was something that we kind of had to get used to. Our little guy is just a year and a half. So it's kind of a little bit of an adjustment to go from being full-time mom for a year while I was on mat leave to now being away from him all the time. But we've adjusted very well, I think, anyways.
That's good. Good to hear. What is something special that you bring to your position?
Um, oh man. One thing that I really like to do is to get to know each one of the boys individually. So my background is I'm an emergency medical responder. I also teach first aid and CPR. I've done that for years now. So I think another thing that is kind of unique about me is that I actually work as a 911 operator. So I know kind of both sides of it in terms of in that emergency situation, how to handle that in the medical side of things, as well as how to get a good response, how to get and talk to 911 and how to access that emergency response. So I think that part is kind of special in terms of my previous position. I actually still work for 911, so I still do that when I'm not here. Um, so I think that that's pretty special. But one thing that I really like to do with the boys is to get to know each one of them individually. So I sat down with them at the beginning of the year and I asked them like some medical stuff. Let's get your history. Let's figure out where your injuries are. All of those things. And then I also asked them what their favorite treat is. So one of my most favorite things to do is to, when we go on road trips, I will pick one of the boys or two of the boys and I'll bring their favorite treat for them. And that's just a way for them to get to know me. It's also a way for me to get to know them. It's also something special. A lot of these guys are away from their families. They haven't seen their families in quite some time. So when they get on the bus and they have their favorite treat, it's just a nice way for them to know that I was thinking about them or that somebody is thinking about them and is caring for them. So yeah, that's one thing that I like to do for them.
That's awesome. What would you have to say to a young woman who might be watching this who wants to go into your position?
Do it. I love it. I can't imagine doing anything else. Don't be afraid. It's not, there's a lot of changes happening. It's still, in some ways, a quote unquote boys club, but I have been welcomed with open arms here. One of the most memorable moments so far has been when I first got hired on, our head coach, Brett, took me aside and said, Joelle, when you make a call, you make a call. I'm not going to question that. I'm not going to try and change your mind. If you make a call on somebody's care, that's 100% up to you. And even if we find out later that, yeah, maybe he could have played, it wasn't as bad as what we thought it was, I'm not going to be upset with you. And I think that right then and there made me feel comfortable enough to, and gave me the confidence enough to make those calls and say, he can't practice this week or he can't play, even though I know they want to and I want them to. Just having that confidence to be able to do it. So, as a young woman getting into this or wanting to get into this role, I would say just do it. Have the confidence to make those calls and to know what's right for your young athletes to be able to help them get back on the ice, to help them rehab, and to ultimately help them reach their ultimate potential. So, yeah.
Okay, and finally, have to ask, what is it like traveling with Nugsy?
Oh boy. It's good. No, he's a lot of fun. We are constantly joking with each other. We have a lot of fun. Yeah, no, he's a great guy. I mean, most of you guys in the SJ know who he is and have gotten to know him quite well. He's a lot of fun. Never a dull moment, that's for sure. He's always trying to come up with fun new things to do with the boys, and we're always kind of tossing the ball back and forth in terms of like, oh, what kind of fun thing could we do, or what kind of videos could we do, what kind of competition can we have? So it's a good time. Never a dull moment with him, that's for sure.
I'm sure. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah,
Appreciate
no problem.
it.